Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Anthwon Thomas, and I am thrilled today to be joined with one of my business partners, Scott Fultz. And we're going to talk about business and life. And really, we would just want to share some practical ideas and things that you can implement into your life to help you grow in all areas of life. Okay, so Scott, how are you doing today, my brother? Welcome to
Good.
the
How are you,
show. What's
man?
going on?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm doing well. Doing well. It's hot outside. I'm
It
glad to be
is.
inside.
Yeah, man. Well, you look cool, so that's a good thing, right? You look like a cool cat. Uh, and again, man, so this is pretty cool because we've been working together for a couple years now, and it's always fun to see people grow and then also be a part of the growth. I say this all the time. When we come together collectively, we want to help each other grow, right? Like iron sharpens iron, and I've seen that happen between me and you. So, Scott, let's get into it, man. I'm a let you kind of take over. Let's talk about some good stuff. Let's give some people some good advice. So, what do you want to talk about exactly right now?
Well, one thing that I've been trying to get back to is running. I used to run a lot. I trained for I did a few marathons. And I saw things how I developed in other areas of my life by doing that, by finding something that I was actually pretty good at. I kind of liken it back to old Deion Sanders. If you look good, you feel good. If you feel good, you play good. If you play
Yeah.
good, they pay good. So it's just a cycle. And I caught on to that right away when I really started running a lot and losing weight. Then I started dressing differently. Then I had more confidence. Then I hung around different people. Then I got different jobs. And so um, the beginning of this year, kind of the end of last year, honestly, with real estate the way it is, I was kind of being the victim, playing the part of the victim with the tough market, and things were not as easy as what they were when I started. In 2019, the market's changed a lot. So I know you and I had a lot of conversations like, well, how can we, make it go smoother? How can we make things better? What can we change? And I think typically when people, if they're having trouble with a job, they think, what can I do about the job, or how can I change the job? And with me, that wasn't, I felt like I was doing decent stuff, uh, but I realized it was a confidence thing. So I got back to running here, and recently, last month, I was doing almost double digits on the weekends. Did a 9 mile run a couple weeks ago, training for a half marathon. Not an organized one, just one on my own now. So I'm not really a racing guy anymore. But things started rolling again with business. So I've always believed it's cyclical. That when you find some momentum, you find something that you're good at that you enjoy doing, just changes everything. And so things seemed like they'd start falling into place. Really, you're the one making them happen. But
Yeah.
it just feels like everything's kind of in motion now, and I do feel that momentum. So it's been going really well professionally lately, especially.
Good, good. So I want to unpack that because I think that's very important. And one of my favorite sayings is by Tony Robbins. He says, business is 80% psychology and it's 20% skills or any type of skill set, right? And what, like you mentioned, a lot of times when you're trying to figure it out in business, you always think, well, what can I do more of in regards to the the skills or the work, when a lot of times we forget about our own psychology, just looking in the mirror and getting our mind frame in the right space, right? So I want to unpack all that because it has been a journey. And just in your 2 years or 2 to 3 years you've been in the business, you've seen multiple markets already, right?
Yeah,
and
right.
and and just in your personal journey, as far as, because you mentioned a marathon, and I really applaud you for being the type of guy who takes health serious, right? Because I think that's key. So let's talk about that. 2019, you get into real estate. What was the first thing that you did going into, let's see, 2020? COVID happens and you have these shifts in the market, and a lot of people allow that to get them down mentally. What was one of the first things you went to get yourself, I don't want to say emotionally hard, but get yourself in the correct space to achieve? Because you had a good year last year, pretty good year last year. What did you do specifically to get you there?
And I've followed the recipe that y'all put in place. Being on a good team made all the difference in the world for me. I saw a lot of solo agents, that had been doing it for a while, doing it much longer than I had been doing it. Kind of talking about part-time jobs and things like that. And I felt like I'm not doing that. That's a point of no return. I'm not doing that. And so, just stick to the procedures like you had mentioned. We hold each other accountable. We're real good at that as a team. Stuff like that. Just keep doing what you're supposed to be doing. And don't play the part of the victim. The market is what it is. But I always felt like through our conversations as a team and man-to-man with you, that no matter what the market situation is like, no matter what circumstances we're dealt, we're always in control of how we respond to that. And I always felt like I had a better set of tools than what a lot of people out there had. So I always felt like it was going to be fine. The accountability that we all have as a team is
proximity
huge.
is power.
Oh man. Yeah. And we stayed together, even though it was just online, a lot of the time last year, in and out of the office. A few of us did have COVID. And so we were definitely staying home for prolonged periods. Yeah. So, and you were always, man, be careful. And with kids around at home and everything, it was a struggle at times for sure, but we kept coming back to each other, seeing each other face to face every day, even in Zoom, calls and stuff like that. And so we never really went too far south, but then actually ended above most of our goals, our individual goals. I think halfway through the year, I realized I had to increase my goals because I was going to surpass what I thought I could do. So even in spite of all the adversity that we were dealt.
Yeah. And I believe that we all understood how important health was last year, right? We were like, okay, we probably need to get, and then being in the environment that we were in regards to our team, I think we all have a growth mindset. So quickly we pivoted. We did a pivot and we found out that, all right, the market is where it's at. We need to first look at ourselves and see what do we need to do. It's a challenge, and we embraced the challenge, right? Collectively, like together as a team. So that's powerful. I want to talk about your running, man, because every time you mention like a marathon or a 5K or something like that, I'm like, oh man, that's incredible. Because not many people, there's a lot of people that I know that want to do that. I'm one of them at some point. I don't even like saying this, at some point. But we want to run a marathon at some point. We want to be able to do a 5K and say, hey, I did that because it was scary to do when I did it. How does that help you by running those miles? How does it help you be a mentally strong agent, right? How does those two relate?
Right. Well, it proved to me that by having a plan, and it didn't have to be my own plan at all. I definitely followed the advice of other people that had done it. I paid real close attention to what they said to do, and I did it. And I realized by just sticking to that plan for so many months that was possible. And even looking back now, I think how did I do that, or why did I do that? But it was just a big kind of stick to it, man. And you can really accomplish things that a lot of people can't and don't want to. That I thought I couldn't do. When I first started running just to lose weight, I had friends say, "Oh, you should do a 5K. Let's sign up for this one." Okay, that's cool, and I liked it. And you should do a half marathon. Okay, okay, whatever. And you should do a marathon. Like, no. But then I did, and then I did some more. So just sticking to the plan that someone else puts out there, and discipline, man, for sure.
It sounds like having people. This is cool because in order to run a marathon, you had to become a runner, and you had to surround yourself by other people who run. right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, like the
It's not fun by
proximity.
yourself. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. So that's cool. How many miles did you run in May?
Oh man, I'm a technology dork. So, uh, let's
I
see
know
here.
the number sort of. It's just a
Right.
crazy number.
Well, it was over 30 for the
Oh my
month because
goodness.
my goal was, wanted a mile a day. Um, yeah.
30,
So
30
it was over.
miles in
It was
one
about,
month.
yeah, I think it
That's
was
crazy.
40.
40.
I don't
Wow.
remember. Yeah, crap.
So
No.
no, but just even if it was, let's say 35, 40 miles, right? Which is
Uh-huh.
incredible. How, because again, this is something that I think is very important for everybody to understand is you put yourself in challenging situations every single day. And the more you put yourself in challenging and uncomfortable situations, the more likely other uncomfortable situations aren't as uncomfortable anymore.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure.
Like,
Absolutely.
so for example, let's put it in perspective. I wake up today, or let's say I wake up tomorrow, okay? New day tomorrow. I go and I walk or run 1 mile. And I haven't done that in a while, right? It's something new and it's uncomfortable for me to do. And I get through it and it's very, very challenging. The likelihood for the rest of my day, because I'm gonna feel like a champion. Like when I get done with it, I'm gonna be like, man, I did something cool, right? I probably did something that most people didn't do today. So the likelihood of me going throughout the rest of my day and having challenges come to me that I can't handle and I don't have the confidence about, that's not going to happen because I've already done the hard stuff. I've already
Right.
proven to myself that I can handle something that is difficult to do, right? So how does that help you, right? Like when you are dealing with because we're listen, in real estate, your job is to be a problem solver. That is what you do all day. You're solving problems all day. So running those miles and taking care of your health, how does that help you become how does that help you throughout your day? Like what does that do to you mentally?
Yeah, I think just having the mental fortitude to say like, well, geez, I just did that. And I looked it up. It was 42.7 miles in May.
That's incredible.
I had to know that. Once you asked that question, I had to know it. But just knowing that I did this, and probably before it, I didn't want to do it. When I set my alarm last night, I did not want to get up and put on my shoes when it's dark out and go for a run.
Mhm.
But then when you do it, you realize, no, I'm much stronger than what I think I am. When I just buckle down and do it. And so then when other problems creep up, whether it's professional or whatever, um, you just have more confidence. Like, well, I'm a problem solver. I did that earlier today. Why can't I do this? So yeah, it just gets you in a much better mental state for sure.
Absolutely. So, Scott, we're in 2021, and you've been a couple of years now in the business. You've seen multiple markets. You've closed a lot of deals, right? So you've kind of seen a lot. What do you have in store for the rest of 2021? Because we're currently in June 2021. So what's your goal for the rest of the year this year? And you could talk about transactions. You could talk about growth mentally, physically, family. What's your plan
Sure.
for the rest of the year?
Sure. I mean, professionally, to get more listings right now, that's where bread and butter is for sure. It is a tough market for buyers. I was fortunate to get another client under contract late last night, a buyer that had been pushing and pushing and pushing. I have lost track of how many offers he wrote, probably a dozen, which is more and more common. But I want to be able to help people. I'm getting a lot more calls from friends and acquaintances that want to learn more about how they can make a lot of money selling their house. And so to be a part of that, like to help someone or even a total stranger, by the time the transaction's done, we're not strangers at all. They feel like a longtime friend, but to help someone with a life-changing thing like making an extra $30,000 over the sale of something that they would not have made that much money a year ago. Just to be a part of that is really cool. So professionally, to be more involved in that, definitely to do more business than I did last year, and not just from a numbers standpoint, but just helping people feels really good to me. I'm going to be joining a group at church here, a board that they're starting a corporation to be able to help underprivileged people get into housing that, probably without the help of a small village, probably could not do it. So using my networking and resources to be able to help, another population in town do that kind of stuff is cool. Personally, get back into running. I've been very lucky. My wife, Jen, she's been super cool about, the light clicked for her one time. And I remember this, like, I always felt like, honey, can I go run? Can I do this? And I felt bad asking, like, I'm sorry, you have to stay home with the kids alone for a half an hour while I go do this. But then one day she said, like, I see the difference in you mentally and obviously physically, like, go do it. You need to do this. And so once that light came on for both of us, that was really cool too. So I do want to get more into that, not necessarily spending, $500 to go run the streets of Chicago again, but, just to be able to run around the neighborhood and around West Lafayette on the paths. We got some cool paths here. So to get back into running, I want to do a half marathon here in the next couple of weeks before we go to vacation. And I do realize that even if I don't have speed goals or distance goals, just being out there doing that is such a mental release for me. That's it's almost therapeutic for sure. So yeah, I want to do more of that again too.
Absolutely. Man, that's beautiful. I need to get out there with you, man. I need to start doing some running.
Joseph, we did some, and I ran him till he had to walk. So that was pretty fun. Because you guys, I'm telling you what, you think running is so cool. I'm like, geez, at this point in my life, it's easy. And then you talk about doing some bench pressing and everything. I'm like, ooh, why would somebody want to do that? So I need to get that. That's what I need. So
I love it.
We'll share a little bit. I'll get you in the streets, and then you get me on the bench. So
there we go. I mean, we're all here to challenge each other and help us grow. So that's the beauty in it all. Scott, I got a question for you, my brother. So if there was a new agent getting into the business today and they reached out to you and they said, Scott, I saw you on YouTube, or I saw you on this podcast, or saw you online, and what you said resonated. What advice would you give me, being a new agent, to be able to accomplish what you have accomplished so far? What would you tell that person, or what would you tell me if I was that agent?
And get on a fantastic team like Silver Lining Real Estate Group. That's a slam dunk gimme for sure. And the reason is, when I first started, I felt like I was an inconvenience to people if I were to ask them, well, how do you fill out this form or whatever? And so I never really got any momentum as a solo agent. But then being around all you guys, you all want so badly for each other to succeed that, you'll take time out to do that. And so you gotta get guidance from people that are doing it and doing it well. I mean, that's a big step. Like you said, iron sharpens iron. I love that phrase, that Bible verse. So that's a big deal. You have to be around other people. We've used that idea before. You surround yourself with, if you spend the majority of your time with 5 people better than you're gonna get better. I think that's crucial. And then just stick to that plan. Find a plan that's proven by others, and stick to it for sure. Do what's uncomfortable, because it will become comfortable, and then it'll become second nature, and then you won't even think that you're doing it. So I've been able to see that with you, with Charles, where we know that the stuff we're doing is not fun when we start out doing it, but then you see results, and then it's just like, well, it's just what I have to do. And then it's just part of your day, so then it doesn't really even leave a mark anymore. So those are kind of the first steps for sure.
Cool. Yeah, man. And I would say that it's so important what you said. I want to touch further on. Surround yourself with people who want to win like you, right? They don't have to have the exact same goal, but they want to not be, they don't want to just float through life or float through the business, and wherever they land, that they're happy. They're intentional and they want to achieve great things. Okay. Yeah. That's key. Proximity is power. Make sure that you have people who are going to be honest with you, going to continue to hold you accountable to the goals that you set with them. But I would also even say people that are willing to be vulnerable with you as well, and not pretend like they have it all figured out, right? Because I believe that, I mean, so many people want to put on this like face of, oh, I'm Superman and I got it. And it's like, no, nobody has it figured out. We're all learning, we're all falling, and we're all trying to help each other grow. And if you think you have it all figured out, you have no idea. You're telling yourself a lie and the people around you a lie. So that's great advice, man. Scott, well, my brother, I don't have any, I mean, is there anything else you want to share with the people? This has been a beautiful journey and it's been a pleasure continuing to partner up with you every single day. But there's a lot of people out there that are not, achieving at the level that they want to achieve. So is there anything else you want to share with people that, could possibly help someone even sell one more home? Right.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about people that aren't maybe doing what they want to be doing, accomplishing what they think they can or whatever. Accountability is a huge thing. I know when like lower parts of my life, I was always blessed to be around other guys that sharpen, each other. And, we would meet weekly or bi-weekly. We'd have lunch. We would talk about the vulnerable things in our lives. And I think if you keep hiding those or thinking that they don't exist or pretending they don't, you're not going to go anywhere and everything. So yeah, to be around a group of people, like the team, where most of us have cried at one time or another in front of each other. We know that we have each other's back, like without a doubt. We can talk about the worst days, all this stuff, and know, like, man, they got me. And so, yeah, being able to be vulnerable around people, to say, I was to the point where someone passed me in the parking lot at church and they'd say, how's it going? And I'd be like, it sucks. Like, this really sucks right now. And, some people don't want to hear that, and you know who it is, but when you can say that to someone and like, they can sincerely, well, what can I do to help? So, I mean, you have to be around people where you can be honest, because like you said, we don't have it figured out. Every day we're trying to figure something else out. And, so yeah, you got to be around people that care, and you can just say, you know what, I screwed up. How can I make this better? And they'll tell you. So yeah.
And some of that is accountability, like an accountability group, but self-accountability as well, right? Accountability with yourself.
For sure.
So, yeah. That's beautiful. Well, Scott, I appreciate you, my brother. I know you're a busy man. I know you're packed with appointments today and stuff, but I just want to say on air that I appreciate you, everybody within the organization. We appreciate everything you do, man. You're a beacon of positive light. So we appreciate that.
Thanks, man.
If anybody has any questions for Scott, wants to reach out to him, pick his brain, Scott, how can they reach out to you?
Yeah, my number is 765-427-2982. Scott at silverliningregroup.com is my email address. We're on Facebook. I don't hide on Facebook. So yeah, there's a lot of different ways.
Cool. And if anybody wants to reach out to me, again, Facebook, like always, is the best way to reach out to me. Send me a message. I always check my messenger. So again, appreciate you, brother. We're going to go ahead and end this one, put a bow on this one, and we'll see you guys on the next one. You guys take care.
Thanks, man. Thanks.